Hi everyone, I'm here with your 611 lesson, How Can I Share It Equally? We're going to work with dividing now. Do you ever share your food with your friends? Do you try to share it equally? How do you know if everyone is getting the same amount? How do you decide to split the food that is being shared? Have you ever argued about who got more? In today's lesson, you will explore how to divide pieces of licorice into equally sized portions and how to deal fairly with any leftovers. As you work, keep these questions in mind. How can we represent it? That's another way of asking, how can we show it? How can we tell which portions are the same amount, and is there another way to share? Let's look at 6-1. 6-1 says fair shares. How would your team share 5 pieces of licorice? What about 9 pieces? Today you will work with a new team to describe how to distribute licorice fairly among different amounts of people. Different numbers of people. Your task. For each situation below, explain how to share the licorice fairly among all team members. For each case, represent the amount of licorice each team member will receive with pictures, words, and numbers. So we have Team W has 3 members and gets 5 pieces of licorice. Team X has 5 members and gets 9 pieces of licorice. And Team W has 6 members and gets 10 pieces of licorice. So go ahead and pause the video and work with these 3 situations, Team W, Team X, Team Y, and when you are done, then you can resume the video. So pause the video now. Okay, if you're back with me, you have answered question 6-1. We're going to jump down to 6-3. 6-3 says, consider all of the strategies for sharing licorice that your classmates presented. So the only strategy you have is your own. If your teacher passed out licorice in exactly this way, giving 5 pieces to teams of 3, 9 pieces to teams of 5, and 10 pieces to teams of 6, would it be fair? In other words, would all students in the class get the same amount of licorice using the strategies developed by your classmates? How can you tell? B says, in which team did members get the most licorice, the least? And C says, how else could the licorice be distributed? Is there a way of ensuring that everyone gets an equal part? Find as many ways as you can to show what you mean. So you want to pause the video and answer questions 6-3, A, B, and C. Just jot some ideas down because this is going to be a discussion that we have in class. So go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, 6-4 says sharing and comparing. If you are given a choice to receive one of the following amounts of licorice, which would you choose? Be prepared to explain your decision. Option 1, we have 3/5 of one whole piece and 2/7 of another whole piece. In option 2, we have 7/10 of one whole piece and 1/3 of another whole piece. So for option 1, if you were receiving 3/5 of a whole piece and 2/7 of a whole piece, what operation would you need to do to those two fractions to get how much licorice you have total? And then you would need to do it for option 1 and option 2. Again, go ahead and pause the video and answer this question now. Hey, if you're back with me, you have answered question 6-4. So we're going to look. So for option 1, we have 3/5 plus 2/7. So we definitely need common denominators here because we are adding. So I'm going to do 3/5 times 7/7 in my giant 1 plus 2/7 times 5/5. So 3 times 7 is 21. 5 times 7 is 35. 2 times 5 is 10. 7 times 5 is 35. So now adding across 21 plus 10 is going to give me 31/35. So now for option 2, we have 7/10 and 1/3. So again, we need to make sure we get common denominators. 10 and 3, we could use 30. So 7/10 times 3 over 3, that's going to give me 30 as my denominator, plus 1/3 times 10 over 10. So that's going to give us 21/30 plus 10/30. 21 plus 10 again is 31 over 30. But look, my numerator is bigger than my denominator, so I can make this a mixed number. How many times does 30 go into 31? Once. What do I have left over? 1. And 30 is my denominator. So out of these two, which is the larger portion? Option 2 is the larger because each person that chooses option 2 gets one whole piece and 1/30th of another one, where here each person only gets 31/35 of each piece. Okay, those are all the problems that we are doing today. Make sure that you have 6-1 and 6-3 answered by the time you come to class. When you are done, you want to make sure that you upload pictures, and then we will discuss those two problems in class. As always, if you have any questions, please email me.